Hey everyone, join me while I reread the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. If you would like to read along with me, I will add my Amazon storefront link in the description so you can find the books there, or I believe stores like Target and Barnes & Noble should still have plenty. So yeah. Today I stopped about a third of the way through the first book, which is Fourth Wing. I stopped right before the threshing. It's presentation day. So if you haven't read this so far, save this video for later, read it, and come back so we can discuss. There will be a lot of spoilers in these videos. This series is quickly becoming one of my favorites. There's dragons, there's magic, war, enemies to lovers, lovers to enemies, kind of. Lots of spicy scenes, and did I mention dragons? It's amazing. This book takes place in a war college setting where the cadets have to prove themselves to be worthy of bonding a dragon, becoming a dragon rider, while also surviving all the challenges the school throws at them and other violent cadets, because there is never enough dragons to bond to the amount of cadets they have each year. So some of the more aggressive cadets kind of up their chances of bonding by killing their competition. Violets are FMC, is a much smaller and more fragile, more fragile than all the other cadets. It's noted that her mother had some sort of fever while she was pregnant with Violet, and it's kind of essentially why she's basically the runt of their family. But because of this, her father raised her to be a scribe as he was. But her father passed away about a year ago, which is a few years after her brother Brennan died in combat as well. And then suddenly, 6 months before conscription day, her mother declared that Violet would go to the Rider's Quadrant instead of the Scribe Quadrant. Definitely can't argue with her mother, though, because she is the general, so everyone fears her, essentially. But it's like sending her to her death, so it's what a wonderful mother. But she states that Sorrengails are always riders. Her father wasn't, though, so did he have a different last name? I always wonder, like, did the kids take their mom's last name, or what's up with that? Because they don't mention her father's name in the book so far. The first bit of this book explains all of this and then tells us how her sister flew back from wherever she was stationed to try and convince the general not to send Violet to her death, essentially. Let her go to the Scribe Quadrant, where she's been training her whole life for. But when that doesn't go very well, Mira, her sister, walks Violet back to her room, repacks the bag she's supposed to take over the parapet, which is the first challenge they have to do, gives her some dragon scale armor and changes her boots so they're more grippy so she can actually cross that bridge. The boots save her crossing the parapet, and the dragon scales definitely save her in a lot of challenges throughout the book so far. And then Mira gives her a crash course on how to survive while she's in the Rider's Quadrant. She tells her to find Dane because he's a second-year squad leader, been her childhood best friend. It's like he can protect you when you get there. She also mentions to stay away from all the rebellion kids because it was their mother that declared all the parents to be executed. So they're obviously going to be gunning for Violet for revenge. Fast forward, she's managed to survive a couple months in the Rider's Quadrant, defying all freaking odds. Even with her lack of combat training, she literally had 6 months of training when all of these cadets have been basically training their whole life. She was thrown in this quadrant and she has been crushing it, honestly. And you can see how proud she is of herself that she's made it this far. But fucking Dane Atos, her childhood best friend, her squad leader, supposed to protect her. She kind of hopes eventually there's going to be more. There's some romantic tension there. But he keeps trying to get her into the scribe quadrant to protect her, even though he knows her mom will just throw her back in the rider's quadrant anyway. He keeps arguing with her about it. It's essentially telling her that he doesn't believe she can make it and that she's weak and not strong enough to be there. You know, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for me. How fucking manipulative. We know Dane's signet is he can access people's memories if he touches their face. And so throughout the book, you see it's like Rebecca explains how Dane touches her face when they're talking. You're like, oh, so sweet. He's caressing her. I think he's fucking stealing her memories without consent, especially in regards to Xaden, big bad zaddy. I mean Xaden. Xaden is a shadow wielder, so he's super powerful. He bonded a super ruthless blue dagger tail dragon, Segale. Oh my gosh, she's terrifying. He's the son of the man who led the rebellion, so he's Violet's enemy numero uno. He's made it really clear to the other rebellion kids that Violet is his to take care of when the time is right, but I think he's too intrigued. He's seen how hard she has been fighting to be there. She was basically sentenced to the Rider's Quadrant as a punishment, just as all the rebellion kids were. He sees how clever she is, taking out her opponents, using poisons before they get to the sparring mat. He's already instructed her on how to save herself, how to fight better for her size and skills, like what she could use to her advantage. And he's yelled at Dane for babying her instead of instructing her. Yelled at Dane for, I don't know, Dane thinks he's protecting her, but what's going to protect her is to get her stronger and know how to fight. I think Violet's growing on him. He's helped Violet prepare for the gauntlet, which she just finally successfully finished one time on presentation day, thank goodness. And this is the day that they will present themselves in front of the dragon to see which ones they might bond with. There's not enough time in the world to discuss all the details of the story, but key players to pay attention to, obviously Violet and Xaden and Dane, a little love triangle sort of. Violet's best friend Rhiannon, they've helped each other a lot. Liam hasn't been mentioned very much, but that he's the top of their class, so I think we'll hear more about him. And then Jack Barlow has made it very publicly known that he wants to kill Violet, but she keeps scaring him and he runs away like a freaking coward. So we'll see how that goes, but he's definitely a strong, aggressive guy. So gotta watch out for him. But let's see how presentation day goes. And the threshing, Violet's for sure gonna bond with a dragon. I mean, this is our main character is not gonna die in the first third of the book, but I mean, we'll see, hopefully. Anyway, guys, get to reading, and I'll see you next time.